Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus, homage to the Venerable Monk Liao-Ming, homage to Master Sakya Zheng Kong, homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and homage to Master Thubten Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of the group practice tonight. Namo Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. Simu Danzen Katso Duden Siddhi, and all Dhamma masters, Dhamma educators, Dhamma teachers, Dhamma lecturers, Dhamma assistants, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Good evening, everyone. How do you do?
Hola amigo, que quiero mucho. Sugoin, ichiba, kimochi, chumi, yapi, purin purin, konbanwa. Xinzao, gaman.
Siddhigarbha.
今天我们修这个大愿地藏王。
Today we practice Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva with the greatest vow.
这一尊是世尊的
This deity
的本尊
is Grandmaster's Yidam, main meditational deity, personal deity, and he's one of the 8 great bodhisattvas. And when the Buddha was giving Dhamma teaching at the Triyatrimsa's heaven, he entrusted all the sentient beings to Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. Someone said there are several reasons. Of the 8 great bodhisattvas, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva delivers the most sentient beings, yet Sakyamuni Buddha did not entrust him. And Manjushri Bodhisattva is the first and foremost in the Avatamsaka realm, and yet Sakyamuni Buddha did not entrust him. So, Akasagarbha Bodhisattva with perfect wisdom, and the Buddha also did not entrust him. And Viskambi Bodhisattva, Vajrapani Bodhisattva, the Buddha also did not entrust him. So why the Buddha especially entrusted to Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva? And later Buddhists believe that Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva is appearing as the Sravaka, which means that he was ordained as a monk. Of all the 8 great bodhisattvas, he's the only one who was ordained, and the other 7 bodhisattvas are laities, upasaka and upasikas. So the Buddha believed that he should entrust sentient beings to the ordained one, and the lay Buddhists should support Buddha Dharma. That's the belief of some Buddhists. But there are also some others who believe that the one that's closest to the sentient beings should be Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. In China, we have the 4 Buddhist mountains corresponding to the 4 great bodhisattvas. Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva or Kuan Yin is at the Buddhaloka mountain or Mount Putho. And Samantabhadra Bodhisattva is a great bodhisattva, one of the Avatamsaka realm. And he's at the Mount Erme. And Manjushri Bodhisattva with the perfect wisdom. And he's at the Mount Wutai. And which is often written in the sutras as the clear and cool mountains, Mount Wutai. And lastly, Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, who's at the Mount Jiuhua. So these are the 4 famous Buddhist mountains in China, corresponding to the 4 great bodhisattvas. Very famous. And because nowadays we often say this term, that down to earth, closer to earth, because from his name, right, the earth store Bodhisattva, Siddhigarbha means the earth store, so more grounded, or down to earth. So that's why Sakyamuni Buddha entrusted it to him. There are 6 Siddhigarbha Bodhisattvas in the 6 realms of the rebirth cycle. So those people had this opinion. This was the opinion of some people. Recently, Grandmaster performs the birth of deliverance of the 1,000 Dharma vessels every night for 2 years already, over 2 years. And last night, at 2:56 a.m., I got in bed. So every night it's like that. So because I sleep so late, that's why when I'm seated here on the Dharma throne, I would sit still because I have emptied everything. Today, the Reverend, actually the Master said, Vajrapani mantra. You place it there, right? And like this, right? 7 times. I only heard very slightly. Did I do that? No. I just kind of heard it. The Vajrapani Bodhisattva mudra. So all I did was just drawing a cross over here. So I did, right? Yes. That's close enough. Just like the priest.
当然，到最后我追上来，我也有观想金刚手菩萨。
Of course, I also visualize Vajrapani Bodhisattva. So when you empty yourself,
还要那个连续在这边给我提醒，赶快把那个
Lian Shi had to remind me, please clip on your microphone.
一直在虚空之中。
Otherwise, I would be amiss the cosmic space. And I will not come back. Only after he snapped his fingers, I came back. So during the marriage dedication, it's also worthless. But I'm back now. It's fine now. So every time for the Dharma teaching, I would regain my awareness and energy. Otherwise, everything is emptied. Otherwise, my ears heard about what to do. And even the chanting beats. Perhaps I chanted a few times, but not completely. So, Siddhikapa Bodhisattva is my yidam. So I should talk something. I should at least say a few things, a few words. So Sakyamuni Buddha entrusted Siddhikapa Bodhisattva. So he's closest, he's more grounded, and he also appeared as a monk because we believe that the ordained monks and nuns are embodied with the Dharma. That's why they are called Dharma teachers. But the laities support the Buddha Dharma. But ordained people without Dharma cannot be called anything. They just have three fulls. They're full of food, full of fun, and full of sleep. Yeah, it's a joke. How come there's this kind of joke?
这里写的这个笑话是叫无理取闹。无理取闹。
This is called making trouble for nothing.
很大的妻子，每天对晚归的丈夫
A wife that's very jealous would always search the husband that's coming home late. If she finds even a piece of hair, a strand of hair, she would start to shout and making a trouble. And then one day, even when she cannot find any hair, she's still shouting and accusing the husband is doing it with the nun without hair. Woman so troublesome.
那个连续最会讲这句，对不对？
连续 often says.
是啊，我也有这种感觉。
I feel the same way.
这个笑话是不幸中的大幸。
This joke is about
今天正是不幸中的大幸啊。
the luck among bad lucks.
我们的车子不见
So what's happening? Well,
老婆讲，那大幸是什么？
our car was stolen.
幸亏我没有在车上，不然连我也丢了。
That's good, but what is the luck? The lucky part is that because I wasn't inside the car, so otherwise I would be gone too.
老师讲，
The teacher
成功
said,
需要5个字。
to succeed, you need these 5 words.
特别能吃苦。
It's
小明讲，
called
那我已
can
经成功了
especially
4分
work
之4
hard.
了。
Oh, this
老
is
师
only
问
meaningful
怎
in
么讲
Chinese.
呢？小明
And
回答
Ming： said, I
因为
have
我
succeeded
特
80%.
别
Then,
能吃。
yeah, in Chinese, that you're able to eat.
好了，我们进入主题了。
Now,
你问我答。
let's do the main topic
马来
on
西
the
亚
question
莲花
and
寺
answer.
人问的，
Question from
请你
Malaysia.
师尊，弟子有几个疑问，想请师
Homage
尊
to
开示。
Grandmaster. I have several questions. The first
在
one,
持咒时，有时会越来越起劲，
when I'm chanting the
有时
mantra,
会有打
sometimes
瞌睡
I'm
或越来
becoming
越
more
累
and more
的现象。
energetic, but sometimes
请
I'm
问师
getting
尊，这当中是
drowsy
何原
and
因
getting
呢？
more and more tired.
还是
What is the
这是
reason?
因为本身精神
Or is it
足不
because
足够
of
的问
my
题？念咒的时
energy?
候，有时候精神非常好，越念越
Because
起
sometimes when
劲，
you chant the
有时会
mantra,
打瞌睡或
you're very
越来越累的
energetic,
现
but
象。
sometimes you get drowsy or
是什
getting
么
more
原
and more
因？
tired.
这不如问你自己。
Why are you asking me? You
问我，
should ask yourself.
告诉你，我也是这样，
Let me tell you, it's the same with me.
对不对？这个问你自己才重要啊！那
You
怎么
should ask
问我呢？
yourself, why
我
are you
又不是
asking
你，
me? I'm not you.
只是我自己的感觉是这样子的。
But my personal
精神
feeling
好的
is
时候，你精神很好的时候，
when you're
你的观
energetic,
想就很清楚，
then your visualization
持
would be
咒
very
也很清
clear.
楚。
Chanting the mantra is
而且
also very clear.
就觉得很那个，你精神萎靡的时候，勉强去
But
做某些事情，
when you're not so
人
spirited,
的精神
then whatever you do
有的
is
时候很好，
hardly accomplished.
有的时候是真
And
的
some
不好。
people have
像师尊啊，每一次
good
坐在这
energy
个
and
西雅图雷
sometimes
藏寺的
not.
法座上，那绝对是
Like when Grandmaster is
绝对是
seated
空
at
掉。
this Dharma throne at the Seattle temple,
那明
I'm
天你看
always
明天
emptied.
啊，明天我在
But
彩虹雷
tomorrow
藏
at the
寺
Rainbow
下午3
Temple,
点
3
上法座，
p.m., when I get on the
哎，
Dharma throne there,
那个法座啊就不一样，
it's
坐
a
在那上面
different
都不同。
Dharma throne. To be seated there, it's a different matter. I would sit well there, but here is a huge difference. How come I have such good energy there at the Rainbow Temple, but not here? So what's the reason? One is a score of 10, and this one is a score of 2. So I'm full of vitality, like 100% at the Rainbow Temple, but only 20% here. Why? Let's ask the accountant. Right? Because at the Rainbow Temple, it's like a full tank of gas. But here at the Seattle Temple, I only have a little bit of gas left. So that's the answer. To this person from Malaysia, if you fill your gas tank, then you would become more and more energetic as you chant mantra. But if you are lacking energy, that's the issue with your own energy. For Grandmaster, it's just a matter of whether I have enough energy or not. The ultimate goal of spiritual cultivation, this is his second question, is to let us have gained the true understanding of the mind and to see the Buddha nature and to transcend life and death. However, this true understanding of the mind, seeing the Buddha nature and transcending life and death refer to enlightenment, complete enlightenment. Without complete enlightenment, can you gain true understanding of the mind and see the Buddha nature and transcend life and death? Why are you asking such question? Let me tell you, that's how it is. True understanding of the mind and seeing the Buddha nature is complete enlightenment. You comprehend your own mind and you see the Buddha nature. Without complete enlightenment, it would be impossible. Once you gain complete enlightenment and you cultivate spiritually, and then you would be able to transcend life and death, because all your channels, chi and light drops are all open and flowing smoothly. So you can go wherever you want. So the life chi is unmoved. We have 5 kinds of chi inside the human's body. The upper chi, lower chi, fire accompanying chi, peripheral chi, and the last one is the life chi, which is unmoved when you're alive. As soon as the life chi moves, that means it's death. That means death. So as a spiritual cultivator, you maintain the luminosity of your heart, and then the life chi is not moved. And the remaining 4 kinds of chi can move, but not the life chi. However, when you want to pass away or to leave the world, you move your life chi to move up. from your heart. So you use your qi to move the life qi up and then to leave the body through the opening at the tip of the head. And it's impossible to achieve it without the practice of the channels, qi and light drops. So you can only transcend life and death this way. So in Tantrayana, if you want to leave the world, you have completed all your duties on earth, you have turned the Dharma wheel, there is nothing to attach anymore in the world, then you can move your life qi to move up and to live through the apex. And this is called transcending life and death. That's the key point. So in Tantrayana, it's due to the practice of the qi, light drops, and channels. Therefore, you will be able to transcend or to be in control or in charge of your life and death. So if you want to continue to live, you can, or if you don't, you can. Before complete enlightenment, you would not be able to comprehend. So the so-called complete enlightenment at the crown chakra, brow chakra, heart chakra, throat chakra, heart chakra, navel chakra, sacral chakra, and the base chakra. 7 chakras. And for the 5 chakras are the brow chakra, throat chakra, heart chakra, navel chakra, and sacral chakra. That's 5 chakras. So when all these chakras have been opened through the practice of channel, qi, and light drops, then the whole central channel is open and qi can flow in it smoothly. And then at such time you're completely purified. And this is called the true understanding of the mind and see the Buddha nature. Then you would be able to see the Buddha nature, and you also would understand what Buddha nature is. So the 3 treasures of Tantrayana is called the qi, channels, and light drops. The qi can flow smoothly, the 7 chakras are completely opened, and this is called complete purity. And that is the true understanding of the mind and to be in total control of your life and death. And of course, that's complete enlightenment. And before enlightenment, of course, you would not be able to see, to understand the mind and to see the Buddha nature, nor to be in charge of your life and death. That's the answer to the question. By Lian Hua Ziming from Malaysia. Why did A want to divorce the wife? The judge asked, why do you want to get divorced? And Mr. He said, last night I told a joke to my wife and she did not laugh. And the judge asked, just because of that? And you want to get divorced? Why don't you just live together? And he cried and said, my wife did not laugh, but someone under the bed laughed. He couldn't hold it. Someone under the bed laughed. She couldn't hold it. A drunkard
不小心从2楼摔下来，
fell from the
引
second
来很多
floor,
路人看着他。
and there are many
一个警
pedestrians
察走过来问
was
醉汉
watching it.
发生什么事，
And a policeman came by and asked what's going on.
也没有怎么样了，2楼掉
And
下来，
from the
只是受
second
一点伤。
floor was just a
这个
minor
醉汉讲
injury,
说
so the
不清
drunkard
楚耶，
said,
我也是刚到。
I don't know, I just got here.
2个夫妻呀，就是吵架了。
Husband and
老
wife
公为老
are
婆订购
arguing,
了一束鲜花，这
and
个
the husband
胶带花店
ordered
在卡片上
a
写
bouquet
着
of flowers for the
我
wife
好后悔，我爱你。
and asked the
有一个
florist to
逗点
write,
交代他我好后悔，然后一个逗点，我
I'm
爱你。
sorry, I love you.
把
I'm
鲜
sorry,
花送到
comma,
老
I
婆的
love you.
所里，
And when the
老婆
wife
就
got
很
the
生气的，因为卡片
bouquet,
上写的
she
是少
got
那一个
really
逗点。
angry because the
我
comma
好
is
后
not
悔，
there.
我爱你。
I'm really sorry, I
所以我
love
们
you
很多事情要很
without the
小心
comma.
啊，
So
就
that's
是少一个
why
点都不行。
we have to be very careful in a lot of things because just missing a
好，我
comma
们今天讲金刚
would be
经啊。
quite problematic. Okay, now let's talk about the
今
Vajrasutra.
天的标题是静
The
心
title
行
today,
善分第23。
Chapter
静心
23,
行善分第23。
Doing Good with the Pure Heart and
这
Mind.
个佛陀讲，
The Buddha
复静
said,
悉菩提，
also
四法平
Subhuti,
等，无有高下。是名
in Anuttara
阿妙
Samyak
多罗
Sambodhi,
三藐
everything
三
is
菩提，
equal without any distinction.
以无我、无人、无众生、无寿者，
Practicing all
修
good
一切
dharma
善法，
without any
即
notion
得
of self,
阿妙多罗三藐三菩提。
others, sentient beings, and
悉菩提
lifespan will
所
result
言
in
善法
Anuttara Samyak
如来
Sambodhi.
说，既非善法，
Subhuti, the
是名
Tathagata
善
says
法。
that the so-called good dharma is not good dharma.
这一
It is
段
merely
稍
named
微
good
跟大
dharma.
家讲一下，
Okay, let me explain this
静心
passage.
行善分第23这个标题是怎么解的？
So how do we explain the
是
title?
用清净心
Chapter
来
23,
行一切善法，
Doing Good with the Pure
用
Heart
清
Mind.
净心来行一切善法，
You use a pure heart mind to
其
do
实
all
非常的困难。
good, or to
主要是
practice
在
all
清
good
净
dharma.
心
As
这3个
as
字。
this is especially difficult, and the key point here is in the
我们讲
pure
道果的时候谈到
heart
清
and
净，
mind, or pure mind.
你到底有几分清净？有
When
人讲说
I was
10分清净
expounding Lamde, we talk
就圆
about
满
purity skill.
10分清净
Like
就
when
圆
we
满。
say it's 100%,
但是你只有
then that
1
would be
分清净，
perfect.
还是不圆满。
But
所以
if
清净
you
心
are
行
only
善，行一切善
1%,
法，用清净
that's
心
not,
行一切善法，
or
其实这
10%,
个
that's
标
not
题本
perfect.
身就很困难。
So this title itself is very difficult to do.
这里讲的清净心，
So the
就
pure
等于
heart,
是
the pure mind
佛在
being
行
talked
一
about
切善
here is the same as the Buddha doing
法。
all
谁能够10分
all
清
good
净呢？
things. Is there anyone that can be completely pure?
大部分我们人呐，我们把
Most
人
of
一
us,
般小时候我们就分成，这个是好人，这是坏
when
人。
we are little,
我
we
们
are
小的时候
taught
就想说，
this
做
is
一个
good
好人
person,
不要
that's
当
bad
坏人。
person. We want to be a good person, not a bad person. So there's a dualism. This is good, that's bad. That's wrong. The wise one would know, or the knowledgeable one would know, that amidst goodness there's also badness, and amidst what's bad there's also goodness. My teacher in school once said, when a bandit robbed the village and he saw a baby that's crawling on the wall of the well, almost falling into the well. So the bandit was about to rob in the village, and he saw a baby crawling next to a well and almost fell into the well. And the bandit generated a good heart and took the baby and placed it at a safe place. And then he continued robbing. Continued with his robbery. So that was my teacher who told us there is no such thing as a totality or completely good person or completely bad person. So you cannot use this dualism to say this is good person, that's bad person. So it depends on how much purity you have, according to Lamdi. So how I explain this title is different. People would just say, use a pure mind to do all good things. That's it. But I am different in explaining it. What is a pure mind? Under the heaven, there is no such person with the pure mind. None. Really. Grandmaster is already very kind. My house was in Kaohsiung then. I grew up in Kaohsiung city. From elementary school to high school, up until I was 19. I love to read since childhood, and that's a good thing. So the place of my house was called Ling Shen Road, and the next block is a bookshop. So I have read lots of books, so I can rent books from the bookstore. And when I see a book that I love, I would try to steal it. And I did steal too. So readings is good, but stealing the books are not good. So good counter the bad to become zero. So being an avid reader is a good thing, but stealing the books is not good. Of course, I had my ways how to steal. So I was never discovered before, but because I stole so many books, my dad found out and then took me and the books back to the Tapeng bookstore and pushed me to repent and to return the books and to ask for forgiveness from the bookshop owner. that I was wrong. Of course, stealing books is a bad thing, but reading books are good. Reading is good. So we call the thief, or I mean, book thief. A thief who steals books is like a cultured thief. So cultured is good, but thief is bad. So a human being is not completely bad or completely good. So like in Buddha Dharma or in Lamde, we depend on purification. Like if you purify to level 1, that would be the ground of joy. And if you have been purified to level 8, and with only 2%, 20% left, that's called the immovable ground. It's basically called the Bodhisattva on the ground. So when you reach level 1, that's the joyful Bodhisattva. And level 8 is the immovable Bodhisattva. Only then that's a real Bodhisattva. And then when you reach level 10, that's the ground of Dharma clouds. And that's like a standby Bodhisattva, standby Buddha. That's close to Buddhahood. So let me ask all of you now, what level have you reached in your purification? What is your purity proportion? You don't have any bad thoughts whatsoever? Not the slightest? Please raise your hand if you don't. You can guarantee that all your thoughts are good, totally good. If all your thoughts are completely good, without the slightest bad thought, no jealousy, envy, nothing at all whatsoever, that you are completely emptied. Like when I was seated here on this Dharma throne, completely emptied, without any thoughts whatsoever. Anyone? So therefore, this title is extremely important. Doing good things with a pure heart and mind. Other people will not say that. That you're just doing good with a pure mind. That's it. But I continue to explain that there is one proportion, like, the proportion is from 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80%. And only at that state, your purity, your purity or your pure mind is immovable, which is at the 8th ground. But you still have 20% left. Only then you would be called a true bodhisattva when you reach the purity level 8. There would be immovable bodhisattva, which your mind is unmoved. You will not go back to the bad side. You will be guaranteed. And people just say, well, pure mind is pure mind. But no, Grandmaster would say that it depends on how many, what is the proportion of your purity, or the scale of your purity. Like when you want to eat a steak, how well, what is the scale? Well done, that's 10. Medium, or medium well.
Almost well done.
almost well done or completely well done?
Well done 就是十分的熟。
Well done, that would be completely cooked.
还是你要生吃？
Or you want it raw?
当然没有生吃的。
Of course.
也有人吃5分的，
That's
也有人
not.
吃几分的，都有。
Nobody eats it raw.
But
there are many different scale.
这个 almost well done, well done， 对，就是这样。
Medium,
这样了解清净心
rare,
了吗？
medium, well done, almost well done. So now you understand this pure
今天
mind.
这个标题：清净心行一切善法。
Doing good with the pure heart and mind. Chapter 23.
我如果不讲，没有人会这样子讲的。
If I don't explain it this way, nobody else will.
讲金刚经的，没有人这样子讲的。
I believe no other people in their exposition would explain it this way.
哪里是好人？
So pure mind, referring to good person.
你是好人吗？你是完
Good
全清净的
person?
吗？
Are you sure? Can you think about it yourself? Look at it yourself and see if you're completely pure.
你还要好
Are you
恶之
completely
分别
pure? At least you still have the discrimination between good and bad, up and down.
的
That's not
佛性是
acceptable.
完全平等的，
Buddha nature is completely equal.
你还有喜好。
You still have
这个人，
likes and
这个人我
dislikes.
喜欢跟他做朋友。
Like
good friend，
you like someone to be your friend,
看了就觉得很得地。
or the other person looks very dirty, yucky.
讲话我就不喜欢。
I just don't like the way
看到他我就
they
想吐。
talk, and I want to
看到这个
vomit
就想看到他就想吐。
seeing them.
看到他连上厕所都不同一个坑。
And
他上过那个厕所，
you
我就
don't
不去
even
了。
want to go to the same toilet as that person.
还有好恶之心，那不是完全清净。
So if you still have such
我们
a
看众生是平等的，没
mind,
有好
then
恶之
you're
心。
not completely
所以
purified.
人跟人
We
会起
view all
纠纷，
sentient beings as
都在
equal.
好恶之心。
People have arguments or disputes because they have this discrimination between good and bad.
那根本就不会
You
有这
cannot
些。
have such
那吃
thought.
醋也是一样啊。
But if you have a pure
嫉
mind,
妒
you
也
would
是
not
一
have
样啊。你做
those
得好，
things.
你
Envy
我
and
就
jealousy is the
嫉妒
same thing. If someone is number one, then you're jealous of
吃
them.
醋的也不是。
Then that's not purity. If you
那这些
have
好恶之心
envy or jealousy, that means that's not pure.
那我今天这样的讲，大家听得懂吗？
So, do you understand my explanation?
你们有读过那个《金刚经》的注解吗？别人讲的，有没有
Have
这
you
样子讲？
ever read the commentaries or
有读过的举手。
explanations by other people?
哦，有
Can
没
you
有这样
raise
子
your
讲？
hands? Did anybody ever
真正
explain
你
it this
不记
way?
得了。那
Don't
你读
remember.
过等于没有读过。
Then it's the same as if you haven't read it then.
还有呢，
Anybody else?
不过这样也很好，你知道吗？
But
读
that's
过
good
就也
too,
很好。
that you have read it.
我好像有看过一个
I
笑话，是
think
这
I
样子。
saw a joke that goes like this.
他说有一个公公跟孙子，公公很喜欢
The
读书，
grandpa loves to
孙子
read,
就问他，
and the grandson
我讲这个公公不是那个
asks
宫殿里面那个公公，阿公
grandpa.
啊阿公，
This is a
有个阿公跟
homophobe
孙子啊，
Chinese for eunuch.
两个人在河边，
So the grandpa and his
阿公在读
grandson
书，
on the
好
river
鞋不
bank,
见，
And the grandpa loves to read. So the grandson asks, "You've read so many books, do you remember them?" And grandpa said, "I forgot after I read them." And the grandson said, ridiculed him, "Then why are you still reading? Because you forget after you read them." And the grandpa gave him a basket to hold a charcoal, and it's quite, it's like black. And then asked the grandson to get some water with the basket. But every time he tried to pick up the water sipped through. So finally he said, "Well, I cannot get any water with this basket." And just do it again. So the grandson listened to the grandpa, and he tried to dip it in water, tried to get some water with it, and still the water all gone. And the grandson said, "This is no use trying to get water this way." And the grandpa said, "Well, that's true. The way I read and I don't retain it, so it's like that." But the basket that was used to carry charcoal, it was spotted with black ash, but it's become clean now. So by reading a few times, you're purified. So if you read it once, you forget, then you read more, eventually you'll remember. Then you would become purified. That's why you want to uphold, to recite, to write the Vajra Sutra, is so that you, one by one, you continue to increase, and one by one you purify, one after another.
那我们今天就讲标题吧。清净心行一切善法，用清净心行一切善法。这个清净心，没有人会像师尊这样子讲。
The pure mind,
1分清净。
a pure heart. Nobody would explain like this, that the purity level from 1, 2, 3 until completely pure. We know in Lamde, when you reach level 11, that's a Buddha. And level 12 or level 13, that would be the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. When you reach level 16, that would be the primordial Buddha, Adharma Buddha. That's what's written in the Lamde.
这里也讲到，阿花去看医生。阿花对医生讲，医生
went to the doctor
什么原因？
and told the doctor, I don't know why. Every time I brush my teeth, I feel so nauseous and just wanted to vomit. And the doctor looked at her carefully and said, there's no problem with you. Just don't look in the mirror when you brush. Sometimes some people would feel really bad when they're looking at themselves.
这个室友咳
feel
嗽，
really disgusted.
问我有没有咳嗽药，
My friend was
我不小
coughing
心
and
拿
asked
错了，
me for some
把泻
medicine,
药拿给他吃。
and carelessly I
我
give
中午
him
回来的
a
时候问他还好吗？
laxative. So
他说还真的有
after I
用耶。
got home, I asked, "So did it work?" And he said it worked. Every time I coughed, then I would have to go to the bathroom.
现在呢，
So I
终于
don't.
有用了，
So it
现在
worked.
就不敢咳了。
I don't even dare to cough anymore.
我妈那边没有。
Oh, money, bear me home.